The rhino you see now is not standing next to the keeper, but armed nursing staff with live ammunition. 24 hours of close protection. They are with it all the time. You may think, this is too exaggerated. Is it necessary to protect an animal? It's too much. Because the horn on the rhino's head can be sold for $65,000 per kilogram, equivalent to more than 1.5 million yuan. You say, poachers, can they not covet it? But what I'm going to tell you today is 100 times more outrageous than poaching. Do you know what rhino horn is made of? Keratin. You have it too, which is the main component of your nails and hair. From a biological point of view, rhino horn and your fingernails, except for the shape, the composition is exactly the same. There is no difference. A lump of large-sized nails is priced higher than gold. You might say, there must be some magical effect. Otherwise, why would it be so expensive? Scientists all over the world have confirmed that rhino horn has no medicinal value. You bite your nails is the same as eating rhino horn powder. But such a product is a waste of money. Has been regarded as a symbol of status. Some people buy it to put at home as a decoration, thinking it's very prestigious. Some people grind it into powder and eat it, thinking it can cure all diseases. As a result, in South Africa's Kruger National Park, one of the most famous wildlife reserves in the world, in 2010, there were over 10,000 rhinos. Guess how many are left now? 4,000. In 10 years, 70% of them were not old or sick or died of disease. All were killed by poachers. Every time a rhino died, their faces were slashed and bloody. The poachers, they only care about the feet. Sometimes the rhino wasn't dead yet. Their feet are cut off alive. Isn't it cruel? But what's even more desperate is that this problem can't be controlled. The South African government didn't take it seriously at first. After all, the animals in the national parks were safe. There weren't many poachers, and rangers' patrols were enough. But they didn't expect that the profit in this market was crazy. $200,000 for a horn. Do you know what this means? It means poachers were willing to spend any price to get it. They are equipped with night vision goggles, silenced rifles, and even helicopters. They are organized and disciplined, and armed like a regular army. What can the rangers do to fight them? What's more terrifying is that too much money, people's hearts cannot be kept. The poaching groups find that, instead of fighting with rangers, it's better to buy them directly. Those who were supposed to protect rhinos turned around and sold the rhinos' location to poachers. Can you believe it? The rhinos died at the hands of their own bodyguards. This is no longer a matter of animal protection. This is a war. A war that is exactly like the drug war. Cash bribes and corruption are everywhere. The staff of Kruger National Park said a sentence that made me feel very cold. He said that at the current rate, in a few years, the rhinos in the park will be killed off. A species that has existed for millions of years will be extinct in our generation, just because of a large piece of horn. Isn't it ironic? There's no way out. We can only take drastic measures. Someone came up with a solution: to actively saw off their horns. Don't worry, it won't hurt the rhino, as long as it doesn't reach the root, and the horn will grow back slowly. But once it's sawed off, hunters see this rhino, they're not interested, because there is nothing to steal. It sounds quite smart, right? But the problem comes immediately. How many rhinos are privately owned? Do you know? 6,200, which is about half of the total. Yes, rhinos can be privately raised. There is a big shot here, named John Hume, known as the Rhino King. He has raised over 1,000 rhinos. He asked his employees to trim the hooves of 10 to 15 rhinos every week. One rhino can produce more than 2 kilograms of horns a year. Then he lobbied the government, saying that these horns have been cut off anyway. They're just lying around. Why not let us sell them? The government actually agreed. In 2017, South Africa reopened its domestic rhino horn market. The Rhino King, now, he can legally auction off the horns he hoarded. He directly became the absolute boss in this industry. But think about the logic of this matter. The demand for rhino horn was already in short supply, so the price is so high. Now legal horns are flooding in. Has the demand been met? Far from it, because the demand itself is artificially inflated. It's an endless pit. The legal supply can't meet the demand. Poachers will continue to do illegal hunting, and because the market is hotter, the illegal profits are higher. Poaching has become even more rampant. Isn't this drinking poison to quench thirst? The problem has circled around. It returns to the original point. As long as rhino horn is valuable, there will always be people who want to get it. So what can we do? Make it worthless. So how can you make something that has been hyped to be worthless? Just when everyone was almost desperate, a group of scientists came up with a trump card. Inject radioactive isotopes into rhino horns, which is nuclear radiation. This project has a name, Rhisotope Project. The scientists involved came from South Africa, Australia, the United States, and Russia. The Russian Nuclear Energy Agency also provided financial support. These people are really daring. Listen to me, how brilliant this move is. First, it directly hits the demand side. You know those who used to buy rhino horns thought it could keep them healthy? It can cure diseases and show off at home. Now tell them this thing has radiation. Would you dare to keep it at home as a decoration? Being exposed to radiation every day? Would you dare to grind it into powder and put it in your mouth? That's not healthcare, it's deadly. Even if rhino horn really has any effect, with radiation, you wouldn't dare to use it. This move, it directly destroys the purchasing desire of end consumers. Second, it makes smuggling impossible to hide. Do you know what customs, airports, and ports all over the world installed with what? Radiation detectors. It was originally used to prevent nuclear smuggling, but now it can be used to catch rhino horn traffickers. Previously, detecting smuggled rhino horn was like finding a needle in a haystack, hidden in luggage and containers which was impossible to find. Now, with a machine scan, there's a radiation signal, they'll be exposed. Customs officers have received radiation detection training. It's easy to operate. It's like turning the world's ready-made security systems have become weapons to crack down on rhino horn smuggling. But this method has a premise, without harming the rhino itself. In the past, radioactive substances were injected into rhino horns. What if it gets into the rhino's body? Wouldn't that harm the rhinos? So scientists first conducted an experiment. They chose two rhinos, one named Igor and the other is Denver. They didn't use real radioactive substances, they used stable isotopes without radiation and injected them into their feet. Then they isolated the two rhinos and observed them every day. What to observe? To see if these particles, whether they would transfer from their feet to their bodies. The result is out. It stayed in the foot. It stayed in its foot. No trace of the particles was detected in the rhino's body. The first milestone has been achieved. Now the project has entered the second stage. 10 to 15 rhinos will be selected and inject them with a real radioactive dose. This stage may take 6 to 12 months. An independent organization will verify the results. If it is successful, what will happen? Rhinoceroses will no longer have their horns cut off, and they won't need 24-hour protection. They can live peacefully. They can walk on the grassland with their beautiful hooves. As for poachers, they can still go poaching, but after poaching, they can't sell it, because the buyers dare not buy it. Even if they ship them out, they are afraid of radiation. They will be caught by customs. The entire business logic of the rhino horn black market is completely disrupted. Do you think this is ruthless? And once this method is mature, not only rhinos, but also other animals, the ivory of elephants and pangolin scales. As long as they are poached, in theory, it can. With this idea, a nuclear technology may really save a whole set of endangered species. Speaking of this, I want to talk to you about something deeper. The white rhinos in South Africa actually undertake a particularly important mission. Have you heard of the northern white rhino? There are only 2 left in the world. Both are females.
And no males, which means they can't reproduce naturally. This species has been functionally extinct, But scientists haven't given up. They are researching a method using the frozen cells of northern white rhinos combined with the genetic technology of southern white rhinos to try to resurrect the species. So the southern white rhino can't go extinct. They are the last hope for the northern white rhino. You see, it's all interlinked. To save the southern white rhino, can we possibly resurrect the northern white rhino? Can make the entire white rhino family continue. And the starting point of all this is to defeat those poachers. To be honest, every time I think about this, I think it's quite magical. A substance with the same composition as fingernails was artificially hyped to sky-high prices, which led to a decades-long war and pushed a species to the brink of extinction. And in the end, it was nuclear radiation was nuclear radiation. Humans are sometimes really absurd. We create problems while chatter and try our best to solve them. We can drive rhinos to the brink of extinction and use the most cutting-edge technology and bring them back. But in the end, none of this should have happened. If no one buys rhino horn, there would be no poaching. If there were no false propaganda and hype, rhino horn would not become a status symbol. The source is demand, and the demand is in people's hearts. So next time, when you see someone is showing off some wild animal products, you should know that there may be a dead rhino behind that thing, with its face slashed and bloody. It's not a symbol of status, it's a proof of stupidity and cruelty.